Hey, what's up, everybody? Jeremiah Krakowski coming back to you with another lesson that is going to change, radically transform your life, and help you reach your goals faster. One of the biggest areas that I see people struggle with is they're not specific enough in many areas of their life. They're not specific enough about the questions they ask. They're not specific enough about the results they can deliver with their clients. They operate in generalities, vague language, trying to not push the envelope too hard, trying to not lock themselves into something. And what ends up happening is they're confused, everybody else is confused. It leaves them with a lot of misunderstanding, being misunderstood, a lot of frustration and disappointment. And this becomes a pattern because at some point in their life, they were too specific about something and got told that they need to be more general and more generic, and they shouldn't talk in specifics. It's actually a lot of, in corporate America, a lot of what's taught in our school system, a lot of what's taught in our culture in general, convinces us to not get specific. And it actually demonizes getting specific as being too extreme. Now listen, I don't believe in going ultra extreme one direction or another, especially in politics. I mean, that's just ridiculous at that point. but we have to get specific when it comes to what we want and what we desire. And we have to learn to verbalize that and put it into the written word. One tool that you can actually use to help you get more specific is Chat GPT, and using AI to help you actually unpack things that you're struggling with and to get specific. But something that I want to just encourage you with is that when you ask questions, I have a coaching program. I allow people to ask me questions on my social media. They can post in the comments. You can comment on any of my videos and ask me questions to help you grow in your business. But people are often very general with their questions, such as, hey, Jeremiah, can you give me your thoughts on this? And it's like, there's 1,000 thoughts I could give you on 1,000 different data points. Let's get specific. I see this happen in my mom's stocks community often. People are like, hey, Sandy, what's your thoughts on this stock? And she's like, about what? Pertaining to what? And so when you can get specific as to going 1 to 2 to 3 layers deep into the questions that you're asking, and as I mentioned, ChatGPT is actually a great way to unpack that. You can actually ask it to ask you questions to get more specific so that you can learn what type of problems that you're actually wanting to learn. What is the data? What is the information that you're actually wanting to gather? Are you just looking for approval, validation? That's one thing. So if so, say it. Are you looking for feedback on a headline, on a color, on how it feels? And so get specific about what your desires are when you're asking questions. Especially on the internet, it can lead to being misunderstood. And this is a skill set that you can grow in. Part of the skill set could be that you just don't have the clarity in what you want. And so you got to continue to actually ask questions, and you might not always get the answers that you want, but by continuing to ask questions, you can start to get more specific as to what you want. The other one is improving your communication skills, learning to actually improve how you articulate verbally and what you write to use more specific, more focused words. For instance, if I told you, hey, I want to learn how to build a car, okay? There's thousands of pieces in a car. So let's get specific. Well, I want to learn how to put the body of a car together. Okay, great. I want to learn how to shape the materials of the body of a car. I want to learn about the aerodynamics of a body of a car. See what I'm saying? Is we took that question from I want to learn how to build a car to let's get specific about the mechanics of what's actually behind that. And so when you can start to explore what you actually mean when you're asking for help, you'll get better answers, you'll be less misunderstood, and just your relationships and your friendships and all of that are going to get a lot better. Okay? One of the reasons why we avoid getting specific is we don't want to pigeonhole ourselves into something, or we're not sure how to ask the question. Or we don't want to look stupid. That's another one. One thing I do recommend is don't make that such a big idol in your life of, well, I better not look stupid, and trying to avoid looking stupid all the time. In reality, in life, like, there's nothing wrong with looking stupid. There's not. There's nothing wrong. Like, if people think you're stupid, that's on them, not you. And so learning to ask questions regardless of how it might make you look or appear. That's a big superpower that you can actually learn. Is not trying to present yourself in a certain light when you're trying to seek out information, but rather being a learner and realizing as a learner, it's kind of like a baby. I have a newborn, almost 5-month-old, and as he's learning things, he gets frustrated, but also, like, obviously he's not perfect at crawling. He's not trying to look perfect at it. He's learning how to. But then we see as adults, we're like, well, I have to appear like I am a certain thing. I have to look like I'm at a certain level before I ask this question. And actually, when we can humble ourselves and be a little bit vulnerable, this can allow us to ask the deeper questions. And you might be afraid to do that. Maybe you've been shamed or judged or had people be very harsh with you when you've done that. I apologize if people have been that way. That's where just learning to listen. You can't control what other people say. We have to stop trying to control other people's responses or emotions, and growing a little bit thicker skin, a little bit, to where regardless of how somebody responds to you, you'll accept whatever response they give. If it's what you wanted, great. If it's not what you wanted, okay, no problem. And you keep going on your journey to find the answer that you're looking for. This is a habit that I developed years ago. And listen, usually when I'm like seeking out information, I oftentimes will feel very stupid or dumb in the beginning because I'm not saying things, quote unquote, the right way. And people will even judge me or whatever. But ultimately, by being willing to do that and not being afraid of looking stupid, I can actually learn the things that I'm looking to learn. Okay? So hopefully this will help you. Hopefully this is going to help you with your communication, with your relationships, how to connect better with people, and how to reach your goals faster.